Hello everyone, what you're about to see is the in-depth look at our new game, Who Killed Dr. Crowe.
Please enjoy this look behind the mask at what went into the process of creating our game.
Hello again, my name's Carson.
And my name's Boston, and we are the producers behind Who Killed Dr. Crowe, a murder mystery set in the 1910s where you must investigate the untimely murder of Dr. Normus Crowe among a cast of unlikely guests. But be quick, as you only have 3 days to solve this mystery and prove the innocence of your dear friend, Glenn Cyrus.
For this project, we were tasked with creating a short game demo within a 3-month span with a team of about 13 people. The first order of business was creating the game concept. We threw around a few ideas, and had at first been drawn to doing a horror game, but we ultimately landed on the idea for a murder mystery puzzle game instead. We took a lot of inspiration from games like Rusty Lake Hotel and Danganronpa, as well as movies like Knives Out.
For the team, we decided to split our teammates into 3 groups, an art team, a programming team, and a design team. This helped us a lot throughout the development process of the game and delegating work to the team members and splitting up the management between me and Carson.
One of the first things we started on after getting our concept down and our teams assigned was the setting and the art style. We'd originally planned on going with a hotel, but a bit later decided on a Victorian manor as it seemed a bit more fitting to the theming of the game. We created a list of almost all the assets we'd need in the game and split those assets up into kits, which we then divided amongst the art team.
We spent the first 2 weeks or so creating reference documents for each kit to give to the artists. Now we'd like to give the floor to the art team so they can discuss their process and the time throughout the project.
Hello all, my name is Delilah Hubner, and I was the environment artist on Who Killed Dr. Crowe. My main assignment was to create the interior modular kit used throughout the game. The interior modular kit was by far where I learned the most on this project. As this was my first time making an interior modular kit, I spent a large amount of time researching the methods to create the most versatile kit possible. In the end, I ended up creating a yellow wall kit and a full wood detail kit, including 2 variations in each kit with a square and rectangle detail. For the modular kit, I made base walls, square and rectangle corners, rectangle curved corners, doorway piece, curved doorways, ballroom window, standard window, curtains, 4 different pillars, and finally height variations of both kits. I additionally created a separate modular kit applying Iana's green wallpaper material. In addition to the modular kit, I created stairs asset using Iana's carpet material, outdoor wall light, interior wall light, chandelier, ceiling light, vent, yellow wall texture, and finally the trim sheet texture. From completing this project, I can now say that my workflow and skills in creating modular kits has greatly improved, and I'm happy to say my time spent on this project was well spent.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Thornton, and I was one of the 3D artists who worked on Who Killed Dr. Crowe. I made the hallway and bedroom prop kits. To begin, I made a rough blockout for each model in Maya, like this one for the bed model, using measurements and references that were provided by the producers. Next, I started refining each model, adding in the finer details. Once the shape of the models were correct, I took them into Substance Painter to texture them.
Hello, my name is Ayana Green, and I worked as the material artist, 3D artist, and sound designer for Who Killed Dr. Crowe. Over the course of the semester, I created models for modular environment kits for both the hallway and dining room in Autodesk Maya, then textured them using Adobe Substance Painter. I also developed a variety of materials like grass, rug, ceiling, wallpaper, and wood flooring using Adobe Illustrator, Substance Designer, and Substance Sampler. On the audio side, I sourced and edited sound effects for the game, including menu interactions and gameplay audio using Adobe Audition. It was a great opportunity to bring both the visual and auditory elements of the game to life.
Hello, my name is Alyssa Wise, and I'm one of the 3D artists who got to work on the game Who Killed Dr. Crowe. I was in charge with working on the front desk props and some of the library props. This includes the key rack, the front desk, the lamp, the clock, various bookshelves, and various books and papers. I was also in charge with modeling one of the hero pieces, which is the bookshelf with the secret drawer that was then animated in the game. I had such a fun time. This was a great experience, and I loved working with this team. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kevin Murray, and I was one of the 3D artists for Who Killed Dr. Crowe. For our game, my role was to create several of the furniture assets, including the pool table and fireplace. I was also responsible for creating an outdoor modular kit, as well as various props that could be reused throughout the game, such as outlets and light switches. Overall, it was an incredible experience working with such a talented team. Thank you, and now back to the producers.
While we worked on the art directions, we also discussed gameplay elements and systems. First, for the main gameplay, we decided to go with having branching dialogue systems, which relies on interacting with the characters to reveal or unlock new parts of the story.
We wanted to do something that left a lot of the mystery and puzzle solving up to the player, but didn't leave them feeling completely lost. This is how we came up with a notebook system, which marks down important clues or items unlocked throughout the game to help the player navigate the mystery. We also included a map of the manor to help the player keep track of where they have or haven't been.
To give sense of the urgency to the story, we decided on including a time system. This time system increments by 1 hour each time a character is interacted with and serves as a way to force the player to choose carefully which actions they make. Once the timer hits 9 p.m., a new day begins, and all the characters' locations are changed.
Once we had these systems down and fleshed out, we began work on our game design document. This would help to outline all of our gameplay, keep track of our asset kits, and give everyone on the team a clear understanding of the direction of the game. Throughout this time, I also sat down with our programmers and helped to design UI elements and outline the system requirements. Speaking of, let's hear from our programming team.
Hello, I'm Robin Quinton, and I was a system programmer for Who Killed Dr. Crowe. My primary role in this project was to develop the dialogue system that is used throughout the game. It went through several iterations, beginning as a much simpler version of the final product that didn't have the question system and only had one possible dialogue for each NPC, but with feedback from the producers and playtesters, I was able to polish it into what it is now. My primary goal was to make the entire system modular and easy for a level designer or producer to implement, while still having all of the requested features, such as different audio cues and the ability to trigger events throughout the game. While there are a few minor optimizations that I think I could implement, I am very proud of the final result.
Hello, I'm Zach, system programmer for Who Killed Dr. Crowe. I worked on making the player controller, the player character, the inputs for the player character, the initial dynamic time system, the moving gesture, and the settings. The player controller was designed from the ground up so that we could implement things like footsteps and other character-specific functions that might cause issues in a pre-made character while keeping it easy to edit and add onto. The dynamic time system was set up so that when it becomes active, it can start at a certain time, so like in our case 9 a.m. And as you interact with NPCs, it would gradually up the time. It would stop once it hits 9 p.m. and it would change the next day. This had to be made in a way where it could easily be integrated with other systems. I got together with Robin for this and we decided what the best way that was, and we found the most optimal solution. The dresser I made has a little button on the side, and it's just so that when you interact with the button on the dresser, it slides over and it can reveal a hidden spot. And the settings I made lets the user change the windowed mode of the game resolution, the volume, and the sensitivity. One thing that helped with the volume and sensitivity was using save states, and these save states would allow the game to save the value that the player put in. Even if they come back to the game, those settings would still be saved. And this also came in handy because using the save state helps the settings talk to the player controller. That way the sensitivity for the player gets changed as it's changed with the settings. And that's about it.
Hello, my name is Levi Wexmonski, and I was the UI designer and artist for Who Killed Dr. Crowe. Early on in development, I collaborated closely with the producers to understand what they needed from the game's UI systems, especially the inventory and guest information features. From there, I developed an interactable journal UI that updates based on in-game events and NPC dialogue, helping players track progress and character information throughout their gameplay experience. I also played a key role in shaping the overall UI design, spending time with the producers to come up with a style that matched their vision for the game. We decided to go with an Art Deco style to keep with the game's historical setting and tone. I then helped implement that across all UI elements to ensure a consistent and immersive experience. That is all for me. Take it away, Boston and Carson.
Thanks, Levi. Our next biggest step was designing our level. We worked very closely with our design team to make sure our level fit well with the overall feel of our game and was easy and appealing for the player to navigate.
For the design side of the game, I was responsible for the level design as my main role. When I first started the project, I was initially planning to make a level for a horror game, as that was our original game concept. After we switched to a murder mystery game, I started getting as much reference as possible when it comes to gameplay loop, game aesthetics, and overall atmosphere for the level. I then created the first plans for the level that we know today. Through multiple iterations, we refined the design to be more engaging and immersive. In addition to level design, I also served as the team's environmental artist, focusing on decorating the space and bringing the environment to life. I was responsible for implementing the game assets and ensuring they function properly within the engine.
Now, let's give it over to our other members on the design team.
Hi, my name is Connor Caneville, and I was in charge of level design and some material work for Who Killed Dr. Crowe. The game was originally a psychological horror game by the name of Whispers in the Walls. This concept involved the main character ending up at a cursed hotel while investigating the disappearance of his wife. The characters within this game are 2D sprites while the world is 3D. I made progress on a blockout for this game concept, including early prototyping for a section that involves the interior courtyard growing into an unnaturally large space within the hotel. A couple of weeks into the project, the concept for the game changed. The 2D character designs and hotel setting stayed the same, allowing for a smooth transition. The programming and modeling that had already been done were almost untouched. Boston quickly made the initial 2D design, which I digitized, added to, and began blockout. We both worked on the transition from blockout to art assets, and it is around this time that the first major lighting pass was made. The addition of lighting made my work easier, as it made visuals within the editor clearer. A couple of weeks later, a new iteration on the level design was called for. The level design was too symmetrical, and the rooms were not distinct enough to be told from one another at first glance, even when props were included. The addition of new models around this time, including arches and curved corner pieces, allowed for better use of shape language and foreshadowing. As for my material work, I used a program called Material Maker to make a few separate materials for the team. I made both the ballroom tiles and exterior bricks this way. I also made a set of emission maps for some of the interior lights to give off the effect of subsurface scattering without requiring us to transition to using substrate.
Hello, my name is Elijah Welch, and I'm the lighting artist for Who Killed Dr. Crowe. My job as lighting artist was to fill the game with ambient lighting to give the player a more natural and visually appealing experience while playing. Talking in depth with producers to help gather reference for the lighting feel and the time period itself, as well as talking with level designers to design a layout to be able to fill the rooms better without overcrowding my light's radius, as well as multiple conversations discussing with the 3D modeling team to design and blueprint versions of lighting fixtures to place all around the level itself to be able to light the rooms realistically. I'm incredibly grateful to have been able to work with so many talented people in the development of this game, as well as the producers that have helped me throughout the entire process. Thank you.
What is going on, guys? I am Tim Almond. I am the VFX artist for Who Killed Dr. Crowe. And for this murder mystery game, I created a dynamic thunderstorm using Unreal Engine 5 to set the perfect ominous tone. The storm features a volumetric clouds that shift and roll across the sky, giving the world a sense of death and movement. I layered in volumetric fog to create a nice moody atmosphere that limits visibility but builds tension. Rain was added with GPU particle systems to make the environment feel alive and immerse. The lightning system flashes sporadically, illuminating the scene in brief, intense bursts. Every visual element works together to enhance the mystery and suspense, keeping players on edge and fully immersed in the world.
Once we'd worked with all of our teams on getting them set up, we began to work on one of the biggest parts of the game, the characters and the story.
I was fortunate enough to be able to work on the writing for the game. I created the main story of the gameplay, as well as the backstories and designs for each of the characters. This is a super challenging process, as I've never had to create such an intricate world in such a short amount of time, but I was extremely satisfied with how everything came together in the end. I worked hard to make sure the story was fun for the player, and that none of the characters felt stale at any point in the game.
Once we had our story and characters, we needed an artist to bring the characters to life. We brought on Maggie Sanders as our character artist, and she was a huge help in bringing the final game together.
Towards the final weeks of the project, we began finishing things up, working on bug testing, optimization, and finally packaging the game. We worked alongside playtesters to improve upon some of the gameplay elements to give the player a more enjoyable experience. And before we knew it, we had a fully completed game.
We had our fair share of challenges throughout this project though. As you heard from Connor, we had originally planned on going with a horror game known as The Whispers in the Walls. A couple weeks into development though, we had realized the scope of the project had gotten too much, and without a complete rewrite of the game, we probably wouldn't have been able to finish within the time we'd been given. With a heavy heart, we had to pivot with about 3 weeks into our project.
Luckily, with some quick thinking, we came up with a new concept where we could still use every mesh and system we'd designed up until this point. We got the idea to do a murder mystery game. From there, we did face some challenges getting the project back on track to where we were, as this did set us a bit back, but with a short crunch, we were able to bring ourselves back on schedule.
Working together on this project was an unforgettable experience for our team. Throughout development, we tackled new challenges, sharpened our skills across every role, and learned what it truly takes to bring a game to life. Every late night, every idea shared, every hurdle overcome brought us to one step closer to the final vision. As we close this chapter, we wanted to invite you behind the scenes to see the passion and hard work that shaped Who Killed Dr. Crowe. We are incredibly proud of what we built and thrilled to finally share it with the world. Who Killed Dr. Crowe is now available for download on itch.io, and we can't wait for you to experience it for yourself.
Thank you to everybody who helped out, and to you, the player, for making this game a reality. Take care, and have a good one.